Welcome to the second Digital Pathways seminar. This digital literacy series for small business owners is made possible by the Metropolitan Partnership Development Fund, an initiative from the Department of Jobs, Precincts and Regions. In today's session, we'll be looking at defining your digital marketing goals. We'll start by looking at what's possible with digital marketing, then move on to looking at rules for setting marketing goals, and finally, finishing up with looking at the SMART approach to goal setting. So what's possible with digital marketing? In the digital space, opportunities to grow your business and market it to new audiences are virtually limitless. The thing that you need to take into consideration is that most goals fail to be realized when businesses bite off more than they can chew. A successful goal is one that's achievable within your resources and that's well planned out. Don't be daunted by the prospect of digital marketing. If anything, it's simpler than traditional marketing methods. Again, provided you have a clear plan. It really does require fewer resources and less effort. And a lot of the work is already done for you through pre-built platforms like social media platforms, things like WordPress and things like MailChimp. Broadly speaking, digital marketing goals can be set out into three separate categories. These are audience, brand, and sales. So some of the things that digital marketing can achieve for audience is if you're a new brand, you might choose to find or reach a new audience online. Those are two separate things. You might choose to engage an existing audience in new ways by encouraging them to communicate with you online or share content relating to your business, or even share their experience relating to your business online through images, through tags, through comments, through shares. You might want to foster community participation by connecting with other businesses, organizations, or just people in your neighborhood, in your council area. You might want to encourage customer loyalty. You might even want to incentivize online participation. So an example of finding and reaching a new audience as a small business owner would be something like the owner of a dog walking business first researching, then joining and participating in neighborhood Facebook groups to find local customers. Now, this is a free, low time commitment and low skill based digital marketing goal. It's very achievable for a small business, and it goes to show that really any of these goals can be scaled up or down depending on the needs and resources of your business. The next category to look at is brand. So there are a lot of things that digital marketing can achieve for your brand online. It can help boost presence, boost visibility and credibility. It can help establish you as a thought leader in your industry and strengthen your reputation among your customer base. It can be used to modernize your brand in the digital space. You can launch a new brand or update an existing part of your brand. You can articulate your core brand values, and you can collaborate with other brands to create a kind of digital business community. So an example of brand visibility increasing brand visibility would be something like a home-based food business establishing a social media strategy that has them building their brand reputation and expertise by sharing cooking videos and advice on a regular weekly basis. Now, this initiative would be time-consuming for the business owner. It would not be expensive because you already have the technology in terms of a smartphone which records video, and there are plenty of free video editing apps out there on the internet. However, it does require some video skills. Now, a more expensive version of this digital marketing goal might be something like working with an influencer agency to connect with influencers in your industry. So if you were, say, a beautician, you might offer them the opportunity to come in for a free treatment, and then in exchange for having them promoting you on their platform. Now, this method of brand reputation building is expensive. It's not time consuming for the business owner because it's an outsourced skill set and process, and it would achieve things in a different way. It would achieve different results. It's sharing. If you have an influencer sharing your product and talking about it online, it does establish you as a brand expert. It helps strengthen your brand, but it may achieve a different kind of audience and attention than creating and posting your own videos online. Now, the third category of digital marketing that we're going to look at is sales. So some of the opportunities available to businesses using digital marketing are, of course, to increase revenue, improve your conversion rate. That is the amount of people that come through your business, who look at your business or your website. A higher percentage of them make a purchase. To find new people who are interested in making a purchase, to streamline your sales process and improve user experience, to promote across new platforms and reach further, to expand your customer service offerings, making it easier than ever for people to connect with you, and to create unique incentives for people who choose to shop online. Things like online exclusives in an e-commerce site, or prices or discounts, depending on where you choose to book, if you choose to book online. An example of improving your customer service offerings to boost your sales could be something like hiring a freelance web developer to put a live chat function on your website so that customers are able to ask questions in real time about products and services. This would ultimately, like I said, streamline the customer service process, but it would also probably speed up the research phase of the customer sales funnel and have them convert faster. Now, these are that's three different kinds of results you could achieve from using this one tactic, and it is going to cost you. This is an expensive process. It would involve employing someone who's highly skilled, probably to work on the back end of your website for at least a few hours, if not longer, and then maintain it. It would not be time consuming for the business owner, however. Now let's move on to looking at some guiding rules for goal setting as a small business owner. So when setting goals for a digital marketing strategy, maybe the biggest thing to focus on as a small business is to keep your goals realistic. So aim to do a few things well. This might mean scaling down your plans or leaving some things out of your digital marketing wish list and returning to them later when your business is in a better position to facilitate that. So think of it logically and strategically, and then build on your goal setting as you achieve each digital marketing goal. It might be 6 months down the track that you actually get to revisit and get to where you want to be right now. This is a process and it requires planning. It requires patience. Take a moment when you're setting your goals to consider the customer perspective as well as your business needs. So ask yourself, what does a customer want from your brand? How are they going to benefit? The next thing to keep in mind is, once again, to keep your resources front of mind. Your labor, your time, your skills, and your financial capacity are all resources that you have in limited amounts as a small business owner. And the lack of these things is usually why people will often set digital marketing goals that never get achieved. If you don't keep these in focus, what you end up with is a lovely pipe dream list of things that just aren't feasible for your business. So I would say, on that note, to aim for between 2 and 4 well set out goals to relate to one another for this digital marketing plan that we're working on. We're going to use the SMART system, which I'll explain in a moment, for setting out goals, which is to create specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. We'll look at that in a moment. And finally, as a business owner, be prepared to commit to whatever you put down on paper. In digital marketing, it's no longer a build it and they will come kind of system. You really have to put time, passion, blood, sweat, and tears into what you want to get out of it. And you have to be willing to commit and, put those resources into it. So using the SMART approach, as I said, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A specific goal is one where you do the work into what exactly it is your business needs. So the 5 whys system that I outlined in the previous seminar is a really good way to get to the bottom of what your business needs and the root cause of some of the challenges you're facing. A specific goal is going to identify where you're aiming for and give it context. And it'll include things like the objective, who is responsible for achieving the goal, and the steps taken to achieve the goal. So, as a working example, let's take a look at the Paris of the South Cafe. This is the fictional cafe that I created in the last session. So let's say this cafe wants to improve its online reputation. The cafe has opened and it has had a rocky start that has resulted in mixed reviews and a downturn in customers. Now, to make this goal specific, what the cafe needs to do is first decide how they want to go about improving their online reputation, look at the steps involved, and then identify who is going to be taking those actions. So the cafe decides that it wants to boost its Google rating, and this is going to be accomplished through a campaign run via an organic social media campaign. So that's going to be a combination of stories and posts rather than a paid campaign. It's going to involve asking their current customer base to leave a review in exchange for a free croissant. So what we've got on the right-hand side of the screen is a screenshot of Melbourne's Florentino restaurant, and you can see their Google reviews at the top. So they have 1,038 Google reviews and an overall rating of 4.4 stars. So this is quite significant in terms of brand reputation. Google is one of the key places that people go to when they're researching somewhere to go, and how other users rate the cafe often shapes whether or not people shapes the decision-making process of potential customers. Now, the next part of the SMART approach is creating a measurable goal. Goals need to be measurable, to be accountable. Quantification makes it easier to track your progress. And we can set measurable goals for the cafe by asking questions like, by how much does Paris of the South want to improve its Google reviews? How many reviews is it going to need to change those numbers? And on which platform is the campaign going to take place? So let's say Paris of the South decides it wants to improve its Google rating from 3.5 to 4.5. So we're putting in a quantifiable amount here. It currently has 10 reviews, so it would need a minimum of 20 new 5-star reviews to lift its average. It's going to advertise on Instagram and Facebook, where they have a combined audience of 600 followers. So achievable, again, particularly in small business, setting goals that are realistically achievable with your available resources can really be a balancing act. So when you're writing out your goals, you need to ask yourself, is this goal attainable? Is this something that you can afford to outsource or that you have the time to do yourself? What are the limitations for your business in this area, whether it's your skill limitations within your business or your time limitations, maybe even the limitations of your industry. There might be some legal parameters around privacy and that kind of thing. These are all things to consider. So in the case of the cafe, again, if they have 600 social media followers, they need a minimum of about 20 new reviews to boost their rating. Then of their followers, they need about 3% of their existing audience to engage with the promotion. Broadly speaking, They know that they have an engaged, enthusiastic audience who frequently like, comment, and tag the cafe. So it seems that getting 3% of those 600 people, it seems like an achievable goal because they have an active social media presence. Broadly speaking anyway, in the industry, around 5% of a social media audience is going to see the content that a company posts. So this is well within industry standards as well. So around 5 to 10 pieces of content about the promotion across the two platforms. So maybe a commitment of around 2 hours from the nominated social media specialist in the business should make the goal achievable. So for a small business, this is very manageable. The next metric is relevancy. So you need to ask yourself, does this goal matter to your business? How does it fit in with the bigger picture? This, for the cafe, a better Google review rating is not really a vanity metric in the same way that likes on an Instagram post are. It's probably going to mean an improved online reputation. It'll increase brand visibility. It'll encourage new customers to find the cafe, and it'll encourage existing customer loyalty. Finally, the last consideration is being time bound. So that really just means setting a deadline. Now, ultimately, all you have to do there is just say, when is this feasible to achieve, and when can I have it done by? And then put something around it. You can put it up to review if you haven't achieved that result in that time, and then move forward. But put some kind of deadline around it so you can be accountable to that. So the final digital marketing plan for Paris of the South Cafe, as following the SMART metric, is to boost Google ratings from 3.5 to 4.5 through a social media campaign on Instagram and Facebook, encouraging the existing audience to leave a Google review in exchange for a free croissant. The campaign will run for 1 month with a review at the end. The aim is to improve the cafe's online reputation, help to encourage customer loyalty, and draw new customers to the cafe. Now, this week in the workshops, your goal is to create a document and document 2 to 4 smart digital marketing goals for your business. Thank you for listening, and I hope you join in once again next week.